You rang. Sorry, I'm a bit scared of double stairs.
Good day to you, gentlemen.
Tell me, young lady, to what do we owe this pleasure?
Please do be brief. We do not have very much time on our hands.
As rectors of this university, we have serious matters to attend to.
I have heard you wish to meet the owner of the train that is currently in your station.
We are surprised that your train has not yet left, miss.
The rules do clearly state that trains are meant to come and go.
Trains should first stop, then subsequently leave.
We agree then, dear colleagues, that what we're dealing with is deviant behavior.
This matter really is cause for concern.
It's a clockwork train, you see? So it needs winding up again?
A clockwork train?
How very quaint.
You are causing a hindrance to us, miss.
I am very hopeful that I will find what I need along the wall.
The wall?
Miss, that really is not a suitable place.
Especially for a young lady.
You see, miss, we freely admit that every day we praise the existence of that particular edifice. We owe the integrity of our dear university and the fine education it provides to the wall.
It protects us from harm.
May God protect us from what is beyond those ramparts, miss.
I don't have any choice.
Such a decision is a correct one since it's in line with regulations.
Thus, your train will indeed be able to leave.
And consequently cease to obstruct our station.
Okay, so I'm sort of going to flick through their dialogue a little bit as well, because most of it is just padding. But yeah, that is one thing that I didn't pick up on before, is that the wall protects them from what is beyond it. So I'm getting a little bit of Game of Thrones inspired anxiety now.
I haven't introduced myself. My name is Kate Walker.
Walker, haven't we already had a Miss Walker?
Perfectly well, my dear colleague.
Pure incitement. It was scandalous. Sadly, we have seen worse since.
Tradition, young lady.
Yeah, so they just talk about someone else. I think his name was Steve Walker, actually, that flunked his exams and stuff, so it's not really relevant.
You see, I didn't actually intend to stop here.
No, not really.
You have arrived a little late in the term.
But as rectors of this university, and therefore representatives of its highest authority...
You don't understand. I'm a lawyer from New York. Or rather, Valladolid, more precisely.
Yeah, so she's explaining what we're doing here.
A kerfuffle.
We have an excellent law school.
So that's not really helpful. Let's talk to them about money.
Some sailors have agreed to tow the train, but I don't have enough money to pay them. I could work for the money.
Please wait, miss.
That is right. We must confibulate between ourselves.
I hope that we are not indisposing you.
Why not?
If it helps us get rid of that train.
My word, that...
What do you have in mind, gentlemen?
When you arrived here, you must have noticed a splendid bandstand which honors the main university courtyard.
A unique piece of mechanical craftsmanship which no longer works.
Why, yes, we have very moving memories of its melodies. We're prepared to offer you a financial reward if you can set it working again.
With pleasure.
Unfortunately, my dear, time and rust have taken their toll on this university, and our automatons no longer have a spring in their step.
To tell you the truth, there are a number of complex mechanisms here in Barakstadt, and it would appear that we have unfortunately lost their operating instructions.
Your train, however, is an extremely ingenious invention, so you should be no stranger to complex mechanisms.
I hope that I can show myself worthy of your faith in me.
Well, my dear colleagues, one more university matter nicely tied up.
Okay, so, yeah, we've been given the task to fix the bandstand, and they're not going to tell us how, but I think looking at the scales, it shouldn't be too difficult. I'm just going to talk to them about birds.
That idea of the station aviary is really very original.
It's the pride of our university. One of the specialties taught here is zoology, you see, and more particularly, ornithology. Proper study and...
It contains some very rare specimens that have been brought back from far away exotic countries.
Do you remember Alexander Valenbois?
Absolutely.
A poison chalice, indeed.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so I just
Here
thought
we
they
are,
might mention
busy
something
chat,
about
chat.
the
Already?
Thank you.
And
the bird that we need to get rid of, but he hasn't. They didn't say anything about that. They just talked about some student. So I'm not going to bother with those guys too much because they wind me up. Let's go see if we can find out any more information. I think if we go to the other end of this hallway, there should be a guy here. There he is.
Excuse me. Sir, please just...
Yes, what is it?
I am sorry to disturb you in your work, sir.
This young Mammothus primigenius is barely 40,000 years old. Fantastic, wouldn't you say?
Yes.
What do you mean? You don't know? Oh, you don't know.
Okay, we're pretty dense when it comes to paleontology, so let's just talk to this guy about what we actually need.
To tell you the truth, I don't know very much about mammoths, and I'm not here as a student. In fact, I'm a lawyer.
It's all right. Nobody's perfect. Oh,
I'm sure it is, but I'm sorry to say my current mission...
that's what they all say. But anyway, let me present myself. I'm Cornelius Ponce, Emeritus Professor and Lecturer at the University of Barrockstadt.
Kate Walker. Pleased to meet you.
Cool.
It wasn't really my intention to stop off here, but I'll confess, this university is really very impressive.
Ah, indeed. There's such a tradition of learning here.
Actually, I'm here because I've been summoned by the rector.
Oh, I see. You must have made a mistake on your enrollment form.
Oh, no. I haven't come here to study.
And you hope...
I'm not altogether sure. But you see, my train broke down coming into Barrockstadt Station.
In that case, my dear, you must come to one of my lectures.
The
You see?
I think if we ask him about the birds...
My train stopped in a peculiar aviary. It's very odd.
Ornithology is far from being my favorite subject, but I must concede that the station is the pride of the university. It was initially intended for teaching purposes, but then birds started arriving from all around the world.
Are there?
I have been told about a kind
Yeah,
of
the Amazon
bird with
cuckoos,
peculiar
that's what we
habits. Let's see now, the Amazon cuckoo, that's right. But, I'm so foolish, I can't remember what was so special about it.
The Amazon? Where's the Amazon?
I'm sorry, my dear, but one cannot learn everything in a lifetime.
Thank you very much.
Okay, cool. So she...
Sorry?
so he, rather, has told us to go check the library, so let's do that. See if we can find something out about these birds. Let's go this way. This library is amazing. I would love to go to this library. Like this is very Hogwarts to me. Like this is what I pictured. Right, I've always wanted to go. Oh, excuse me, I yawn. Yeah, I've always wanted to go to a library like this, which is just you have to use ladders to get to the higher shelves. Okay, so this is just a book about a mushroom. I'm not sure what the relevance of this mushroom is at the moment, but apparently it gives you like really good eyesight, so we'll bear that in mind. So I guess we can just take these books, because like no one's here to, you know, check them out or anything. We're just going in here and taking stuff. I mean, I guess that's pretty much in line with what we've been doing so far. Robbing from priests and things like that. So here we go. The Amazon, Memories of an Expedition. So I'm not going to read all this, but basically the general gist of it is that they're very aggressive cuckoos and they really, really like grapes. So we need to get hold of these like particular grapes that will allow us to get rid of those cuckoos. Let's go talk to this guy. It's the only guy in here that we can actually talk to.
Excuse me. Can I disturb you a second?
No,
You could be a little bit nicer about it.
keep quiet.
And he says nothing useful, so let's just leave. So maybe if we ask the rectors about these grapes, they might know somewhere where they grow. Because it does say somewhere in the book as well that the berries grow
The
here.
gentleman,
A little problem.
They are kept to oneself.
Nor
you wouldn't know if there is any Forest Sauvignon here in Barrickstadt, would you?
Absolutely.
when he says absolutely, he means, of course, absolutely none.
What we mean, of course, is that we are absolutely positive there is no Forest Sauvignon here in Barrickstadt.
Really? Are you sure? Because I read in a book that Barrickstadt possesses a number of plants.
Out of the question, miss.
The assistant rector means to say that our priority is for you to remove your train from our station.
Yes, that's right. Your train must leave the station immediately, so...
Don't forget the regulations, miss. Don't forget them.
Okay, so I think we need
Here we
to
are. Thank you.
And
talk to someone else first. Every time she runs to those second set of stairs, she sort of slides off a little bit and corrects herself mid-air. Let's go back to the station master, because he said he's the expert of like all the plants and everything and the birds that are in... Oh, ring ring. Who dare?
hello?
So, you got him then, this air?
Ah, it's you, Mr. Marson. Good day, and how are you, sir?
Oh, this
I'll
guy.
feel a whole lot better when this whole business is over and the sales contract is signed. Where the hell are you?
I'm in Barrickstadt.
What? What in God's name are you doing there?
It's a magnificent university town. It would appear Hans Vorarlberg once passed by here.
So if he isn't there anymore, then there's no point hanging around.
I hear what you're saying, sir, but I have good reason to believe that Hans Vorarlberg is still alive. For the time being, I'm trying to gather extra information from people who have known him.
What's your next destination?
I'm not exactly sure.
Doesn't sound like you know too much, Kate.
I just need a bit of time.
Yeah, well, time is what you ain't got.
It's a very rude boss. Like, I feel like these kind of bosses are... I mean, they wouldn't be bosses for very long. They're very undiplomatic. So, in our lawyer mission so far, we've stolen from a holy man, and now we're desperately trying to steal from the university to take their grapes. I mean, this isn't really what I was expecting when I was told that Kate was going to be on a oh, let's go this way. On a lawyer mission. Hey mate, I got some questions
I'm
for
sorry
you.
to disturb you.
What?
Where are the grapes?
Where might I find some Forest Sauvignon plants?
No place around here, that's for sure. I don't know what you're talking about. That stuff's from the Amazon.
You know, for someone who knows nothing about the plant, you seem pretty well informed.
Oh, well, Amazon, Peru, Papua New Guinea, it's all the same to me.
Yeah, so he's
Wait, don't go. You know what? I don't think he was being totally straight with me.
obviously something going on here. So let's pick up this dead bird looking thing from the beach. It's a very large hook. There was some rope lying down next to the barge. I don't actually know what we do with the hook at the moment because I picked it up last time I was playing, but I haven't actually used it yet, so I'm not sure what that's for.
Excuse me,
Dude, stop
Station
running away
Master,
from me.
but I need you again.
Can't you see I am very, very busy?
Where are they?
I'm looking for a kind of little juicy berry.
Look, lady, the station...
Funny you should mention it. That's exactly what I was looking for. Forest Sauvignon.
Sauvignon...
But you see, I have just read a very interesting book. which says that the rare Sauvignon berry is actually cultivated here.
Well, if it's in a book, then...
I don't know why, but I don't think you're telling me the truth.
What do you mean? I don't know. How should I know where to find your stupid grape?
But you're the master of this station, so you should know better than anyone.
Nobody tells me anything.
Okay,
I
so
won't disturb
he's
you.
told me to go and ask the professor. So let's go bother Pons. So I've just come back to see the professor, and I've just realised that there is actually this door here. Oh, and I was gonna fiddle with the sound again, because the voices are all quiet now. It really annoys me when you get games where the music just drowns out the voices.
No point.
Okay, so we can't actually get through. That's fine. Let's talk to this guy now.
Do excuse me, Professor. Professor,
She's so
What
demanding.
is it you want to know, miss?
Berries, please.
you wouldn't know where the forest Sauvignon plants are kept in Bauerstadt, would you?
Why do you think there are Sauvignon plants here?
I read about it in a book at the library.
Try going to see the station master. If such a shrub exists, he will have a better idea than anyone.
It's actually he who sent me to you.
Yes, yes indeed. What a strange way to behave. Well, I think he must have made a mistake, that's all. Nobody tells me anything here. Maybe you should ask the rectors.
All right, thanks. I'll leave you in peace.
Sorry?
Oh, actually,
Do
we say that we're
Professor?
going to leave him in peace.
What is it you want to know?
Oh dear. That's the wrong way. Oh, maybe he's a bit blind.
To tell you the truth, I'm looking for Mr. Hans Vorarlberg. He's the sole heir of a very unusual factory. My company is in charge of negotiations for the takeover of this factory. At last word, he was living in Syberia.
Syberia. Ah, Syberia.
Said what?
You mentioned a name. The person you are looking for.
Vorarlberg. Hans Vorarlberg.
Hans Vorarlberg. How could I forget him? Such an extraordinary fellow. So inventive. We shared a passion for mammoths, you know, and we bonded over this passion. Without it, I confess, I would have had little to do with an odd, ageless retard
Ugh,
like Hans.
can't call him that.
At the time, we were both students.
Very nice.
Well, sort of. Put it this way. Hans had special permission to attend paleontology lectures. You see, he didn't really have the necessary qualifications. In exchange, Hans did a few odd jobs around the university.
Your Hans Vorarlberg sounds uncannily like the one I'm looking for.
I'm not sure, my dear. Hans was above all questions of money and business.
Can you tell me a little bit more about him?
He was always a mystery to me. He never said very much, never quite seemed to grasp what you said to him. He expressed himself instead through his incredible mechanical contraptions. His inventions, I admit, have been much appreciated by the university. The few times we really did talk, it was about his strange interest for mammoths and a doll. Some sort of doll that obsessed him.
A doll, you say?
Yes, he kept talking about it. One day he described it to me. A sort of children's toy. A miniature mammoth mounted by a mout. It appears he found it in a cave not far from his home.
What do you mean?
To my knowledge, there was only one tribe who made figurines featuring a mout, and that tribe is the Yukols. They live in the farthest reaches of Syberia, and for them, the dolls constituted a sacred object, illustrating one of their central legends. How such a doll made the journey from the frozen Siberian north to a cave in the French Alps is a mystery to me.
Have you considered that Hans Vorarlberg was maybe making it up?
No, that's impossible. Hans couldn't invent the story like that. The doll is a sacred part of the Siberia legend.
So that's interesting that he had some more to say about the doll. I like his conversation about Hans, actually, so I wanted to do that. That Hans, as well as just like a character, is so revered in the writing and the context of the game.
No point.
Just wondered if we could get into this room, but it's locked. Be right back. Teleporting again.